Beneath what remains of the Lee statue in Charlottesville lies a forgotten nexus of power, a convergence point where crystal, ritual, and consciousness intertwine in an ancient living system. Over a century ago at this very site, a dark clan memorial ritual was held, a convergence of collective will and occult force. This event was not merely symbolic, it was a deliberate act of psychic imprinting, a charged ceremony designed to seed the earth and stone with vibrational intent. The base of the statue, embedded with veins of quartz, acted as a crystalline receptacle, absorbing the dense waves of emotional and spiritual energy generated by the gathering. Quartz, a mineral known for its piezoelectric properties, converts mechanical pressure and vibrational input into electrical energy, making it a perfect medium for storing and amplifying energetic imprints. Over time, the quartz core beneath the statue has functioned as a resonant memory matrix, a crystalline archive of collective consciousness and ritualistic energy locked in time. This matrix operates not as inert stone, but as a living capacitor for exotic energetic matter, the crystallization of consciousness itself. Each chant, whispered incantation, and surge of fervor layered upon it like sediment, building a multifaceted energy palimpsest. The vibrations of these words, the emotional spikes of devotion, were encoded into the piezoelectric core of the quartz, etching a psychic blueprint into the city's very fabric. Fast forward to the 2017 rallies, orchestrated through digital shadows and encrypted channels by a figure operating under the guise of activism, but acting as a conduit of chaos. This event was less a spontaneous eruption and more a calculated ritual engineered to maximize emotional discharge. Waves of outrage were deliberately provoked and fed, flooding the collective emotional field. These emotional waves are not merely psychological reactions, they are potent currents of raw energetic currency. Emotions such as rage and fear generate a volatile spiritual energy capable of feeding and amplifying ritual power. The rally's carefully staged provocations created a feedback loop. Public outrage incited reaction, which in turn provoked further agitation. This cycle, intensified by a ravenous media apparatus, acted as a living sigil, a dynamic and self-sustaining magical symbol. Within this feedback loop, the physical and digital realms fused, forming a hypercharged resonance field embedded deep in the cultural zeitgeist. The rally became a modern-day harvesting ground, siphoning psychic energy much like a metaphysical power plant. This was no accidental convergence, but a deliberate act of occult vampirism, blending esoteric knowledge with contemporary technology and symbolic urban space. Yet this phenomenon extends beyond any single event. The secret architecture underpinning cities like Charlottesville is not merely aesthetic or confined to this locality. The monument statues and urban layouts are constructed upon ancient and hidden symbolic principles, often encoded in sacred geometry. These are not coincidental design elements. They are energy circuits, nodes regulating the flow of spiritual power, human agency, and collective consciousness. These architectural symbols create a lattice of control, accessible only to those attuned to their geometric frequencies, those wired into the sacred blueprint of influence. Power does not flow by decree or might alone. It courses through ritual alignment, through the precise resonance of symbol and intent. Those who understand how to tune in to these energetic circuits can channel influence, opening pathways to hidden wells of control. In Charlottesville, the quartz cores embedded within the statue were more than inert relics. They're dynamic reservoirs of psychic charge. Like the river in Ghostbusters, memory vaults of centuries-old rituals layered with the tumultuous energies of recent unrest. These resonators generate a social and spiritual processing power surpassing even the most advanced technological microchips, yet their computation is of a non-physical kind, processing collective thought, emotion, and will. The city becomes a living circuit board, with its monuments acting as oscillators, stabilizing and synchronizing waves of social and emotional energy. The statue's quartz cores function as crystal oscillators, providing timing signals that regulate and synchronize the flow of collective thought patterns, behaviors, and cultural momentum. The debate over these statues was far more than a debate over history and politics. It was a covert war for control over psychic fields and consciousness nodes embedded within the urban landscape. The attempts to remove or disrupt these nodes is to essentially reboot the psychic architecture, changing the timing and influence mechanisms of cultural mindspace from the embedded forces within the environment. Carefully orchestrated rituals of feeding take place, a harvesting of souls through emotional and psychic manipulation, cloaked in protest. A modern black magic operation, blending occult principles with digital strategy and leveraging symbolic architecture to channel and amplify the collective psychic energy of a divided populace. In this hidden war for control of consciousness, the city's quartz resonators stand as both battleground and weapon. Layers of power and resonance spanning generations, linking past, present, and future through vibrational memory and geometry.